There's a moment where life shifts, not because something happened outside, but because something ignited inside you. A decision, a fire, a whisper that says, act as if it's already yours. That's what Napoleon Hill meant when he said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Not maybe, not hopefully it will. But here's the secret. It's not enough to wish. You have to move. You have to walk like it's coming, breathe like it's done. Show up to your life like the pieces are already clicking into place, because they are the moment you start aligning with them. You see, most people wait. They wait for signs, for permission, for some grand signal that it's the right time. But life doesn't hand you that. Life doesn't send invitations to greatness. It waits to see who will show up uninvited, who will claim their place at the table before the food is even served. You don't walk into your dream, you walk ahead of it, and then watch as it races to catch up to you. When Hill spent years studying the greatest minds of his time, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, he wasn't looking for luck. He was uncovering patterns, and one of the most powerful patterns he found, they all moved before the world believed in them. They didn't wait to feel ready. They decided they were ready. That mindset, that certainty, was their starting point. Hill calls it a definiteness of purpose, a laser-targeted focus. You don't stumble your way into success. You declare it out loud, boldly. You say, this is who I am, this is where I'm going, and nothing will stop me. The tragedy. Most people don't move because they're waiting for proof. But here's the truth. Most never realize movement creates proof. Action builds evidence. The more you walk like it's happening, the more the world rearranges itself around you. That's not magic. That's alignment. That's energy meeting intention. Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like life is standing still? Then ask yourself, when was the last time you moved like it's already happening? When was the last time you believed so deeply in what's coming that you acted like it was already yours? Because if you're not walking toward it, it's not walking toward you. You cannot manifest what you won't move for. You can't attract what you don't act on. Hill didn't say wait and grow rich. He said think and grow rich. Think it, believe it, then move like hell until it's real. Let me ask you something. If today you knew, absolutely knew, that what you want is guaranteed, how would you walk into that meeting? How would you speak in that interview? How would you show up in your craft, your business, your relationships? Think about it. That version of you is already within you, but you have to step into it before it shows up outside you. Here's where it flips. Most people think success comes after confidence, but confidence is born in the movement. Every time you take a step, even when the ground feels shaky, you're laying bricks under your own feet. You're building the path as you walk it. It feels scary. Good. That means you're alive. That means you're stretching beyond what's comfortable, and growth only lives beyond the border of comfort. And when people doubt you, and they will, don't argue. Just keep moving. They'll try to measure your dream with their vision, but your vision is not up for debate. This is your life, your blueprint, your fire, your climb. And if you're willing to keep climbing, even when the summit is lost in the clouds, guess what? Eventually, the clouds move. And when they do, you'll already be standing on the mountain. So stop waiting, start moving. Move with the energy of someone who's already won. Walk with the confidence of someone who's already met their future self and smiled. Because it's not about when things fall into place, it's about you falling into place with them. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, what's one move you've been delaying because you didn't feel ready? What would happen if you did it anyway today? Write it in the comments. I move before I'm ready. It's time to own your journey. Share it below and inspire someone else who's been waiting for a sign. You might just be the sign they needed. And if this message is pulling something awake in you, drop a fire in the comments. Let's see how many are ready to move as if their dream is already here. Let's go deeper, because the moment you decide to move as if the universe starts moving with you, but not in the way you expect. It won't hand it to you clean polished or gift wrapped. No, life tests you first. It nudges you with doubt, tempts you with distractions, and challenges your belief. Why? Because the world doesn't give power to someone who hasn't proven they can hold it. Napoleon Hill said that faith is the head chemist of the mind. What does that mean? It means your belief system is the alchemy that turns invisible ideas into visible reality. When you move with belief, you literally change the chemistry of your brain, your body, your behavior. You walk differently. You speak differently. You don't ask if anymore. You start asking how soon. But belief doesn't grow in silence. It grows in motion. Every time you do the hard thing anyway, every time you show up for your goals when no one is clapping, you grow roots so deep that even the storm can't shake you. That's the kind of movement Hill talked about, the unshakable, unreasonable, unstoppable kind. Because when you move as if, you're saying to the universe, I'm not hoping, I've already claimed it. And listen, people will call you crazy. Let them. They laughed at Edison before he lit the world. They doubted Ford before the engine turned. They ridiculed Hill before his words rewired generations. So if people don't understand your urgency, your pace, your relentless focus, that's okay. They're not supposed to. Your vision wasn't given to them. It was given to you. There's something powerful that happens when you move without a safety net. When you burn the plan B and lean fully into what you believe is possible. That's where hunger lives. That's where greatness hides. But too many people want guarantees. They want to know the next 5 steps, the 10-year roadmap, the backup plan. But let me tell you the truth Napoleon Hill would shout from the rooftops. Certainty is a trap. The only thing that brings certainty, is bold, consistent action. You earn clarity by walking through the fog, not waiting for the fog to clear. So when you move as if everything is falling into place, what you're really doing is refusing to align with fear. You're turning your back on hesitation. You're silencing the voices in your head that say, what if it fails? And answering back, what if it works? You don't shrink from risk. You rise to it. You don't beg life for favors. You lead life by example. And that changes everything. Let me ask you this. What if you stopped negotiating with your dream? What if you didn't ask it to be easier, but simply decided to get stronger? What if you stopped waiting for motivation and just committed to momentum? Wouldn't that shift everything? Remember this. It is far easier to steer a moving ship than one still at the dock. Hill didn't write think and wait and maybe. He wrote think and grow rich because he knew that thought slacks into transformation. If you want to become magnetic to opportunity, you have to first become faithful to the energy of movement. Stop letting hesitation slow your blessing. Move like the door is already open. Speak like the meeting is already scheduled. Walk like the deal is already closed. Because the world listens to people who move with conviction. There is no force louder than a human being aligned with their future. And you know what's crazy? The moment you do this, doors you didn't even knock on start to swing open. People you've never met start saying your name in rooms you've never entered. Why? Because when you walk with faith, the world follows your steps. That's not ego. That's spiritual law. That's cause and effect. That's belief backed by action. Now breathe in that energy, hold it, and ask yourself, what if I move tomorrow like I already am the person I dream of becoming? What would change? What would I wear, say, believe? What would I stop tolerating? What would I start building? Type it below in the comments. I'm already becoming, because every time you declare who you are becoming, you bring it one step closer, you close the gap between you and it, and eventually that gap disappears. And if this hit your chest like a lightning bolt, if your heart whispered yes, then drop a whom-pact below. Let's wake this algorithm up with some raw, forward-moving energy. The minute you choose to move as if your dream is already yours, the game shifts, not outside you, inside. And that's where the real war is fought. Not on stages, not in meetings, not in the bank account, but inside your own mind. The battlefield is your belief, and the enemy, doubt disguised as logic, fear disguised as caution. But Hill warned us. The subconscious mind doesn't care if you plant roses or poison. It will grow whatever you feed it. So if you want a life that blooms, you better start planning like your future depends on it, because it does. When you wake up and move like everything is falling into place, you're not delusional. You're strategic. You're setting the emotional tone of your day before the world gets a chance to. That's power. That's leadership. That's what Hill called autosuggestion, deliberately directing your thoughts and emotions until they start shaping your behavior not once, not twice, every single day. Because repetition creates belief, and belief creates movement, and movement changes your life. Think about it. How many times have you stopped just short of a breakthrough because you were waiting to see how things go, waiting to feel secure, waiting for the plan to be perfect? But here's the problem. Growth is never perfect. Progress is always messy, and security, it's an illusion. The only security that exists is the one you create within yourself, the one that says, no matter what happens, I'll keep showing up. You don't need guarantees. You need guts. You need to lean into the uncomfortable, because the uncomfortable is where new versions of you are born. And every time you walk through it, you kill off an old limitation. That's not motivational fluff. That's transformation in action. So here's the challenge Hill threw at all of us. Are you willing to decide that success is yours before anyone else sees it? Can you walk into rooms like your name already holds weight, even when no one knows it yet? Can you practice your craft like the stage is already built, even if the audience hasn't shown up? That's what it means to move as if. And it's not about arrogance. It's about alignment. Because the world bends for people who walk in their purpose like they were born for it. And you were. But only you can decide that. Now I want you to imagine a door. It's big, heavy, locked. Behind it is everything you've ever wanted. But here's the twist: the lock only opens from the inside. Your actions, your mindset, your decision, that's the key. Not luck, not talent, not approval. Just you unapologetically becoming the version of yourself who no longer asks if it's possible, but asks what else is possible after this. And when you start thinking like that, when how far can I go replaces can I do this, that's when the fire spreads. That's when fear turns into fuel. That's when the mountain stops looking like a wall and starts looking like a launch pad. Hill didn't say the path would be easy, but he did promise it would be worth it. He said, "Set your mind on a definite goal and observe how quickly the world stands aside to let you pass." But that only happens after you move. You don't get confirmation, then move. You move, then confirmation comes. And yes, it will feel weird at first. You'll question yourself. You'll feel like an imposter. That's normal. That's part of the identity shift. But keep going. Because on the other side of awkward is ownership. And when you own your path, your energy changes. People can feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Your world reshapes itself to match the rhythm you're walking in. So let me ask you something, Rods. What would happen if you stopped rehearsing failure? What if you stopped preparing for disappointment? What if your entire being locked in on one truth? This is happening because I've decided it will. What version of you would be born then? Write it in the comments. I've already decided. Say it like you mean it. Say it like your future is listening, because it is. Someone else out there needs to see your courage in that comment and realize they're not alone. If that hit something deep, if your chest felt it before your mind did, drop a foundation in the comments. Because today you're laying another brick in the foundation of your future. Every time you take action like it's already happening, you begin collapsing time. You're not just hustling, you're accelerating destiny. That's what Napoleon Hill was pointing to. Not just a mindset, but a movement of the soul, a vibration so certain it pulls reality toward it. See, life doesn't follow hope, it follows command. And command only comes when you stop being the audience of your own life and start being the author. Let that sink in. You are not here to react. You are here to create. And the most powerful creation you will ever bring to life is you. The version of you that's been hiding behind someday. The version that's been watered down by doubt, filtered by fear, buried under timelines that aren't even yours. But not anymore, because now you're moving like it's done. You're walking into conversations with purpose. You're approaching your day like a weapon, not a wish. That's what changes the game. That's what Hill meant when he said, "There is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it." Readiness isn't passive. It's not polite. It's not convenient. It's bold. It's raw. It's loud inside your heart even if the world is silent around you. And here's the key. When you act as if everything is falling into place, you train your nervous system to expect success. Your body starts relaxing into the future. Your mind starts scanning for possibilities instead of problems. And that's not fiction. That's neuroscience. That's how belief hardwires into identity. You're not pretending. It's not fake it till you make it. It's believe it till you become it. It's embodying what you haven't yet seen because you know it's real. That's what makes the difference between those who try and those who transform. But here's what most people miss. Movement without mindset is wasted energy. You can run in circles for years if you haven't decided where you're going. That's why Hill emphasized clarity, definiteness of purpose, because energy without direction burns you out. But energy with direction, that's how you light up the whole world. So stop asking, what if I'm not ready? Start asking, what if this is the exact moment I was made for? Because it is. The world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be in motion, unpolished, unfinished, but fully present. Because the person you become while moving is the one who earns the outcome. And when you get hit with resistance, and you will, that's not a sign to stop. That's a sign you're moving right. You're entering territory most never dare touch. And in that territory, the rules change. In that space, it's not about credentials, it's about conviction, not about permission, it's about persistence. And the only way you fail in that world is by stopping. So don't stop because it's slow. Don't stop because no one's watching. Do it especially then. Because success is created in secret, in silence, in solitude. In those moments where it's just you, and the dream and the decision to keep going no matter what. Let your movement speak louder than your doubt. Let your actions tell your future, I'm ready now. Let your walk prove what your words don't need to explain. Because when you move with that kind of fire, you don't need to chase. You attract. You don't knock, doors open. You don't ask. Opportunity recognizes you before you say a word, but only if you refuse to shrink. Only if you lean into the discomfort and say, this version of me is dying, so something greater can rise. Because that's what's happening every time you level up. Part of you must be left behind, a weaker mindset, a smaller belief, a version of you that once served you, but can't carry what's next. Are you willing to let it go? Write it in the comments. I'm rising no matter what. This is your commitment, not just to a goal, but to a self, a version of you the world hasn't even met yet, but you have, and that's what matters. If that line just cracked something open, if your chest tightened and your soul exhaled, drop a eagle in the comments, because that's the symbol of flight, of freedom, of finally lifting off. This is it. The moment where everything you've heard, everything you've felt, everything you've endured, it all meets here. Because moving as if everything is falling into place is not about pretending. It's about remembering. Remembering who you were before the world told you to shrink. Remembering that greatness isn't something you earn, it's something you unlock. And the key, it's how you move, how you rise, how you step forward when everything inside you says, wait. You don't wait, not anymore, because now you know what Hill spent a lifetime proving. That success isn't a gift from the outside, it's a discipline from the inside, a rhythm you build through relentless faith, fierce decision and fearless action. It's not the loudest who win, it's the most consistent, the most unshakable, the ones who don't ask life to cooperate, but decide to create the life they see, even when no one else sees it yet. And now it's your turn. It's your turn to look in the mirror and say, no more rehearsals. This is opening night. Your turn to stop planning and start becoming. Your turn to shut out the noise and trust the whisper, the one that says, keep going, it's closer than you think. Because the truth is, it always was. The only thing that needed to change was you, and you're changing now. You can feel it, can't you? That flicker in your chest, that's not anxiety. That's power waking up. That's your spirit remembering it was built for this. It's your dream tapping you on the shoulder saying, I've been waiting for you to move. And now you are. You're moving like someone who doesn't need to beg for permission. You're walking like someone who's not waiting to be picked. You've picked yourself. You've chosen yourself. And that choice, that's the real beginning. You see, the world doesn't respond to the passive. It responds to the persistent, not to the loud, but to the clear. And clarity comes through motion. You won't find your full power standing still. You find it mid-stride, leap, mid-faith. You find it when you show up to the moment, not fully prepared, not perfectly polished, but fully present. That's when the magic happens. Because here's the secret Hill never wrote in bold, but whispered through every chapter. The universe doesn't reward the worthy. It rewards the willing, willing to go again, willing to be seen, willing to stand up when it would be easier to sit down and say, maybe next time, but there is no next time. There's only now, only this breath, only this chance. And what you do with it, that's your legacy. Not your resume, not your highlight reel, your resilience, your decision, your movement. So ask yourself, are you moving in faith or hesitating in fear? Are you stepping into your future or standing in your history? The difference is a single decision, the one where you finally say, I will no longer wait for it to feel real. I will move until it becomes real. That's power. That's freedom. That's you unchained. And if nobody told you this before, let me say it now with every ounce of conviction. You are ready. You are chosen. You are enough. Not later. Not someday. Right now. So walk like it. Speak like it. Build like it. Lied like it. Move like it. Comment right now. I don't wait. I walk. Let the world know who you are. Leave your digital footprint right here as a reminder. This was the moment you moved different. And if your soul's on fire right now, if your next step feels bigger than your last fear, drop a path emoji. Because you're not just on the path now, you are the path. Now go, move as if it's already happening, because it is. And when someone asks how you did it, tell them simply, why believed, I moved, and the rest fell into place.